Oh, hi. Hi, guys. Okay, so how would you like to write a book by this Christmas? Now, you might think, Ruth, really? How is it that I'm going to write a book by this Christmas? Well, that's fair because 97% of the people that start to write their books never complete them. 97%, which means out of 1,000 people, 30 people complete their book. That's it. So it's a big deal, right? So when you say, well, how am I going to write a book by this Christmas? I'll tell you. But before I do, I want to share with you why it's so important that you have a book. There is so much noise out there now with everyone on all our platforms and with all these Facebook ads. So how do you break through the noise? Well, if you know that 97% of the people that start to write their books never complete it, that tells you, wait a minute, that's how I can get in there and be visible. I can have my expertise and my brand become visible. And so, why is that important? We know why. I'll give you three reasons right off the bat. Hello, Miss Connie Green. Good Lord, I haven't seen you in forever. Hi there. Three reasons. Attract your ideal clients. How do you attract your ideal clients with a book? Well, when your ideal client listens to you, whether it's a Ruth on demand or whether it's one of my audio coaching calls or in a book, we speak the same language. They understand me and I understand my ideal client. And is who I am writing to. So right off the bat, there is a camaraderie and there is a connection. And your people that are not your ideal clients, that's okay. There are places for them to go. But you want to work with your ideal client, and a book is ideal for that. Another reason you want to write a book is that a book opens the gates to incredible speaking opportunities. Speaking opportunities where you can get paid to speak. Speaking opportunities where you get on someone's large stage and they do all the heavy lifting. They do the Facebook ads. They bring the tushies in the seats, and you're there to share your information, your expertise, solve problems for your ideal client. Oh, and by the way, you have a book. So all of a sudden you're looked upon as an expert, someone that can truly solve their problems. And then the third reason, and there's many more, but I'm just giving you three of them right now, and that is sponsorship opportunities. It's so much easier to get a sponsor to say yes to a live event that you're doing, or a virtual event, or a book tour, whether it's in person or virtual, and so many other YouTube sponsors. A book opens the path for you to do that. So, what if, let's look at a vision here. What if you had your book by this Christmas? And if you've been following me on these Ruth on Demands, then you know what I'm going to say next almost. And that is, once you start writing your book, 30 days into it, no longer than 30 days, it's time to start marketing your book. So by the time you have your book complete, you already have ideal clients if you know what to do, and a book. All right? Okay, so why is that so important? We just shared that. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can start writing a book by Christmas and make sure that you are not part of that 97% that do not complete their books, and you are the 30 people that actually complete their book. All right? So, first of all, you need accountability. I don't care how disciplined you are. I don't care how focused you are. We're all human. And there's just so much noise, as I mentioned earlier, that it's so important to be able to have someone where you can feel that you can be accountable, someone that creates a plan, a tailored plan that fits your lifestyle. I've got to tell you, when I work with my clients, it's a tailor-made program, and we fit writing a book into their lifestyle. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And I work with very, very busy people. I work with people who have uh, careers that are very paper intensive, research intensive, client intensive, time intensive. And I'll share with you that if we did not create a specific, tailored plan for accountability around their lifestyle, they too would not finish their book. So that's how important that is. The second piece of that, so that you can finish your book by Christmas, is to have a personalized, tailored writing plan for you. Now, why is that important? Well, some people want to write a book and all they want to do is give speeches. They don't want to do any coaching. Some people want to write a book and they just want to sell a lot of books, and they want to travel with their book. Some people that write books want to do coaching, and maybe they don't want to do that much speaking, but maybe they really want to build up their coaching practice, or their law practice, or their financial services practice, or their insurance practice. I mean, it goes across the industry. And what will work, a writing plan that will work for one person, does not necessarily, and in many ways, does it include the way that the plan, your writing plan, is for you. It's very different. And so, I personally, I don't have a lot of people in a writing group. I work almost exclusively one-on-one with clients with their books, so that all of this can be taken care of. And I'm convinced that that's one of the major reasons for the success of my clients' books, and having them get the results that they get in terms of speaking, clients, sponsorships, TEDx talks, things of that sort. And let me share with you is that when you create that personalized writing plan, you're focusing on your target market. Now, this may sound strange, but it's accurate. Most people in business do not know who their target market is. And of that target market, do you know which ones are ready to make a purchase now? Which ones want to keep you in the limelight in their library, but they're not ready yet? How many of you have those analytics? How many of you measure that? How do you do that? And how do you know who your target market is? Because when you're writing your book, you're writing to your ideal target market. So think of an ideal client. Think of their coachability, their opportunity to listen, to follow up on what you suggest, their implementation, their psychographics. Where are they in the cycle, the journey of life? Maybe demographics. Maybe it's you have most success with the target market that are women, maybe men. Maybe it's a potpourri of all. So you don't know until you know, right? And you can't write your book to your target market until you find that out, which leads us to the third tip that will help enhance the success of writing and completing your book by Christmas. And that is, you've got to identify your book brand. And in the process of identifying your book brand, we go into your business brand, because they are very, very closely connected. And all of a sudden, you now have messaging. You have brand messaging around your business brand, which is going to attract your ideal client. The words, what you solve, they're going to pick up their ears and go, huh, she or he might be able to resolve some of my issues, some of my challenges. And your book brand. How is your book similar to some books out there on the New York Times best-selling list, or Wall Street sellers list, or USA best-selling list? And how do they differ? You must know that. And when you have that accountability, when you know your target market, now you get into some really fun stuff. So now you know how you're that's similar in some ways with that book or different. So what does that really mean? How you see the world a little differently, how you see the world similarly to other professionals in your craft, in your industry. And that's important because the idea is to get your expertise, your voice, the way you see the world and how you speak it into the world, and your messaging and the accountability and hitting of the personalized plan so that you can identify your target market with that. All of that goes hand in hand. So let me write that down. One, and these are the things that are basic if you're going to get a book written by Christmas, or if you're going to write a book and complete it. One is accountability. You know, so many times people want to start writing a book, and I often say they just kind of blew onto the page. And then what happens 2 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later, they're confused because they're writing 2 books. I had a client who, before she worked with me, she was writing 1 book, but she was really writing 3 books. And that is why I think it was in her 10th year that she was still trying to write this book. But they were 3 different books. You need accountability. The second one is you need a personalized writing plan, which also includes, not only do you need a specific plan, but you need that plan that's able to fit into your lifestyle. If you don't have the plan that fits into your lifestyle, you're going to keep putting it off and you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to put it off and you're going to feel frustrated. But if you have that time element and it works with you instead of against what your lifestyle is, it makes a big difference. Okay. And the third is to identify your book brand. Now, what's so wonderful about identifying your book brand, when I was writing Generation Why Not, that was my most recent book, my 7th book. And as I was writing it, people would say, oh, well, what's it about? And I would say it's a cross between, gosh, it's been a while, Arianna Huffington's Thrive, her book, and also John Mackey's Conscious Capitalism. That's what generation. So I basically branded it, and that really means positioned it so that people had an idea of what the book was about. That's one of the ways, it's one of the many ways that I was able to get hundreds of pre-sales as much as a year before the book was even written. So all of these things are important. These 3 that I've shared with you, accountability, personalized writing plan, and book brand or book positioning, just as it is your business positioning, your business brand positioning, all of these are 3 essential foundational pieces. If you need help getting started, if you want to help getting a plan or some accountability, you can connect with me many different ways. There will be a link that you can have that you can set up a time to chat. You can DM me. You can basically email me. I have my email address on my website. I even have my many things that you can connect with me on. So I'd love to be able to talk to you, and we can basically have a strategy session on how you can get your book manuscript or your book actually done by Christmas. And again, the worst time to start marketing your book is when your book is complete. That's way too late, way too long. And you've lost months and months of potential clients and book sales. So I'd love to chat with you. You believe me, you don't have to do this alone. You have someone who has led the pack, who's created their own path, that knows how to help others create their plan. And so again, you don't have to do it alone, and it really is doable to have your book by Christmas. Talk to you soon.